Hello there and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jedel Cabrera. Absolutely glad that you're here for our usual political conversations to build this country. Even as we progress with President William Ruto's administration, I'm here with Herman Manyora. How are you doing?
Good.
Recovering well?
Recovering better every single day.
We thank God for that. Our conversation for today, we're speaking about CS Moses Kuria's utterances are trending. I don't know if I can get that tweet, Prof. He said, look, those prostitutes from Aga Khan.
I like the acronym of the ministry, MEATY.
MEATY. Let's not go there. Koale Malaya wa Aga Khan Pale Nation Center, you can still advertise auctioneers and funeral announcements. We will not stop those. He says they will stop advertising government advertisement on Nation Media Group after an investigative piece on edible oil importation that was supposed to be duty-free, ending up costing the Kenya Revenue Authority 10 billion Kenya shillings. Some companies getting 5.6 billion shillings. Let's start from this. Can he really stop advertisement? Let's start from there.
You know, under normal circumstances, government is bigger than a minister. And a minister can influence policy, but he cannot direct policy. So as an individual, you cannot stop what government must do. But this is Kenya. This is Kenya, and Moses Kuria can get away with anything.
Is this why we don't see exposés as they're done in different parts of the world, especially the developed part of the world, because of these advertisements? Is this the reason why some media houses don't really seem to perform as they should?
I don't think so. You know, media is complex. Media engages in what we call manufacturing consent. In other words, self-censorship for self-survival. It's across the world. But sometimes media can be rough on government. Yeah. Sometimes they have better sponsors than government.
Okay.
Look, nation media, if they want to take on government, they can do without advertising. Nation, if you look at Nation Media House, NMG, NTV, Daily Nation, and all those kinds. This to Aga Khan, this is just a kiosk.
Yeah.
It's not anything to him.
Okay.
Except that he has bigger investments in Kenya and East Africa. But if it was just Nation alone, to Aga Khan, that is a kiosk.
So these threats from Moses Kuria cannot really influence the way
they can't. Aga Khan will just pick a phone and call Ruto, and that'll be the end of the story.
Okay.
Moses Kuria is a small person. These are players between big people. You can't. You know, this is a big game. The game is big. Only one small phone call from some small quarter and everything. But government also stopped denying them advertisements sometimes back. And the government itself just came back and gave them.
So it's a different ball game. But you speak about the utterances, though, from Moses Kuria going to Twitter. He's a CS and calling the journalists there prostitutes of Aga Khan. These utterances...
Let me tell you something. I know Moses Kuria. I know Moses Kuria to be a very intelligent person. He's also known for other things. But the one I want to talk about is his mouth. His tongue. And I want to tell Moses Kuria to advise him. And to tell William Samoei Ruto, who is the president of Kenya. And to tell Kenyans, people like Moses Kuria have burnt countries. You can burn a country. You can take a country down. You can send a country into civil war because of utterances from people like Moses Kuria. And therefore, for the president, he may continue to ignore these bad things that are going on, but they will sting him. Atarambwa.
Kitamramba.
President Atarambwa. Achunge. Things like this of Moses Kuria. There must be a way of putting some... You know, they are not... Because now it's not Kenyans. Kenyans are used to Moses Kuria. But it's now being played at the international level. And we were saying, what kind of country is this? How can a minister engage in this kind of thing?
Especially the docket that he holds when it comes to...
Like now, they are meeting with EU.
Yes.
You can't even strike a hard bargain with that baggage on you. Moses Kuria is a very intelligent person. In fact, the right person for that ministry. But his utterances.
But how should he respond to these accusations or this piece from Nation Media? They have misappropriated or 5.6 billion shillings, KRA.
I saw people defending it, Itumbi, another friend of mine, and so on. I told them, some things you don't defend. That at best you keep quiet. It's not about prices. It's an expose that shows what went on. The games that were being played, which are normal games in this country. Within 6 months of being a minister in this country, you can have 5 billion in your pocket. Yeah. We saw it during Kibaki's time. Within a couple of months, people who had just been paupers were running around with billions, buying properties that could scare you. You see now competition over things in Karen. People are talking of houses of 120, 150 million casually.
6 months in. 7 months.
We talked. We had some discussion. I have put those discussions in some form. And I've signed and I've sent you 10%. Casually, like they are talking about buying mandazi. Let me tell these rich people, Kitawaramba. In my lifetime, and I'm an old man, not your lifetime. In my lifetime, these rich people lose all this property they have in this country. In my lifetime. Hii Karani wanapigania hii. Watu wa Kibera wataishi huko. In my lifetime.
Now, I'm just thinking about the president where he sits and he's looking at this CSs behaving the way they're behaving. What does this mean for his regime?
You don't eat and show people your tummy. When is unatoa hata shati wanaona anataka kubalance. There's a high commissioner called Edward Clay. He said, people, you are vomiting on our shoes. You know, a British man akiamua kuongea kizungu. Yeah. We've given you donations and what you've eaten, now you are vomiting on our shoes. The president must be aware. Perception is very important. How people perceive their government. But where this country has reached, people know that nobody cares. The president doesn't care. Anything goes.
If this talks about this duty-free importation while his first meeting, and he was obviously aware of it, does this mean the president is not as hands-on as we thought he was? Does this necessarily
No, these things can happen without the president knowing. That I understand. But when he does nothing, is now what baffles. So his claim that I want to fight corruption is just a joke. Because the way that thing is... But, you know, in this country, we are episodic. This is one episode. How many have we forgotten so far? Ile fertilizer tumesahau.
Kabisa.
Sasa hii tutasahau. KNTC, with the capacity to source a commodity direct from a country like Malaysia, then collects your company and mine and hers, and then mulete. Kwa kila mtungi mkule kumi. Pop 5.6 billion.
Gone.
Fertilizer was the same. If you are getting fertilizer from, I think it was Ukraine or whatever, some country, I don't know where. No, it was a European country. I can't remember which one. Some EU country. Is it Bulgaria? No, whatever country it was. Yana fertilizer. Why didn't KNTC then just buy fertilizer? Why did they have to tell other people to go and buy?
Because now it's even more expensive than the one we produce in the country.
Yes. This oil. Yes. So, it is very simple. You become a minister today, boys sit with you down, they tell you, hivi ndio kuna edaga. Hivi ndio?
Kuna ndanga.
You eat the Bible. Somebody was warning me not to go Kalua, I was on KTN. You take oath of office in January. Cabinet secretary. In June, even if you had nothing, you are a billionaire. That's how this country works. Explain to me how somebody becomes a minister and all of them own houses in Karen. Kitusuru. How is it really possible?
No, it's flawless.
How is it even possible? At a Sako. Which Sako is this that can give you 190 million to buy a house? And only the other day you told you your net worth is 200 million. That includes your matrimonial home. It includes everything else you have. So if there's cash, something you can turn into cash. If my net worth is 200, as I declare to the public, to the Kenyan people, before I become minister, it doesn't mean I have 200 million in my account. It means if you take my home, my land, my cars, movable and immovable assets, I can total to 200 million. A man like that can hardly raise 20 million cash.
But she spoke of mortgage.
10%.
She spoke of mortgage to finance the rest. You know.
Yeah.
So we don't.
You think mortgage is something you just get? Mortgage of 100 million. You know how much you will pay per month?
Yeah.
Yes, 100 million. And if it's pegged on your tenure as a minister, which is a 5-year tenure, I don't know where 10 is coming from. Even if we were to grant 10, calculate on how much, you see how much money you'll pay per month. Your salary times 10.
So tell me, why is it so difficult? Because these are the scandals.
We are a thieving nation.
We continue forgetting the scandals that we've been through before.
This one will go, another one will come, and another one will come.
What should the president do? President Uhuru Kenyatta said, I can't do anything about it. What should Ruto do now? Because in Kemsa he acted swiftly, then the opposition was against the way he acted. How should he perform this time now?
There's nothing he can do. Let him just be president for his 5 or 10 years and go home. I'll advise him that way. Just be president. Let the eating go on. Let the partying go on. Do your bit. Improve where you can. Take Kenya one more step forward. Do your 5 years. Ask for Kenya another chance. Speak well like you did. They give you. Finish your 10 years. Retire to Surugoi or wherever you want.
So today
and let Kenya continue.
You're selling hopelessness today. There's nothing that can be done.
If you have people like Moses Kuria remaining in cabinet today talking to EU, what hope is there for the country? What hope is there? What country is this? This is not a country. Many of the things that happen in this country cannot even happen in the most useless country in the world. Because you see, who we are is more important than anything else. Who are we? What defines us? What is this one thing we are willing to die for? To defend who we are. Now, if we don't have that, there's nothing that matters to us. There's nothing as a country we are willing to go to war for, to fight for, to defend who we are. Something below which we can't, we rather die, all of us. That's what makes a nation. A nation has something that makes it who they are, that makes them proud, a bar below which they can't go.
But I want to know how long.
So if you have certain ministers of certain caliber speaking in certain ways, public servants, thieves being set free and given jobs, it means there's nothing for which we stand as a country.
Then how long can this last? I asked you earlier.
It will last as long as to last.
What does this mean for the regime of President William Ruto?
It will last as long as to last. But I only know one thing. There are only 2 ways out of this place. The way this country is going, it will collapse. And we shall build afresh from the collapse. However, there are still 2 ways that can save us. One in a nice way, another one in a rather violent but obvious way again. If one man or woman walked into State House after being sworn in as president, a man or woman who can make a difference, this country will be saved. One day. You see, that's hope. That's just prayer.
That one day.
One day. 2032, 2027, that one man or woman lands into State House. Somehow Kenyans become mad and elect the right person to State House to become president. You just need one man. It's just a week.
If you're the president,
if I'm the president
and
today,
so first of all, what Moses Kuria tweeted yesterday, how would you react?
How can Moses Kuria find himself in my cabinet in the first place? My cabinet will not be made of people like Moses Kuria. None of them even one. To make it to my cabinet, let me tell my friend, you'll be somebody. And I want to tell you this. After 3-4 cabinet meetings, if I'm the president, some people resign. Because of the headache that goes on during a cabinet meeting. The level of thinking. Mtu atasema hapa mimi siwezi. I've given you an example of taking a child to alliance because you think you are a big person.
Yeah.
Then your child gets 250 marks, you snitch them to alliance. Kichwa inamuuma anakuambia dadi mimi natoka hapa. That's what my cabinet will be. So one man or woman in State House is all you need to change all this stupidity. And it doesn't even need anything. The day you land there, you call the press over the your first breakfast in State House. And just tell people this is the country we are now going to live in. Yeah. It's a country where you not steal even 1 shilling from the public. Because the consequences are just direct. You call the Chief Justice and his team, and her team or his team, and the rest of the people responsible for administration of justice. You tell them if you don't impeach people who have messed this country, the people will impeach you. And that takes me now to the second thing. That if we continue pushing and selling this hopelessness, if we continue pushing and selling this suffering to the people of Kenya, if we continue oppressing the people, if we continue thinking that 10% of us can have access to clean water in Nairobi, when 90% of us, of the other people, cannot even have a 20-liter jerrycan for a week for use. If we think we shall have 4-5 square meals in a day, when over 60% of the country can hardly put a meal on the table. When we delude ourselves we are doing very well because we have the best insurance cover for health. When even a sneeze, you sneeze in the morning, in the afternoon, you are Jomo Kenyatta Airport, you are going to South Africa. And the millions of Kenyans, to them, treatment is a rumor. If we delude ourselves, we will live in a country like that for long. We are very stupid. It has never worked anywhere. Even at the worst of times, during feudal Europe, when everybody was a slave, worked for nothing, went to war and died for nothing, the system ensured those ones who were able to eat.
Okay.
As capitalistic as the West is, Europe, America, and the rest, they put one thing in front and give it prominence, that the least in society will at least eat. Here we are so stupid to think we are so safe with our billions when 80% of the country can hardly put a meal on the table, and we think we are safe. Already, I'm opening the eyes of these fools. Let them take time to go to the village and see how people are suffering in the village. Let me tell you, if you went to the village for 2 weeks, if you are in the upper middle class, if you are honest and sincere, you will be depressed. You will go into depression. There are people, homes, 90% of the homes in my place where I come from, they don't have one working individual. One. And they have never had anybody from that family working. And they must eat. And none of them has an acre of land. You saw you are there.
Yeah.
A quarter, an eighth. How do those people live? Today, as a binge of things to come, these stupid people, these rich people, you can hardly sleep in the village. You can't sleep. You know what you must do to sleep? Yeah? You can hardly plant anything. A banana can hardly ripen at home before it is taken off. Cassava tubers, they can't even, before it is anything. I was giving this example, people have called me, say, Manyora, you are lying.
Yeah.
Next pale kwa Mike. That's the small stream, not the bigger one.
Yeah.
Mike is between the two streams. Yeah. The smaller one, you come, you pass, then you go to Mike, then you go to the bigger one.
That's in Lombe.
Yeah, in Lombe, in my place. Guys, these bang smoking boys from funerals, you know, in our place when somebody dies, people stay there until and over. Yeah. They wanted to uproot cassava because it was so dry they couldn't. They went to the stream, ferried water until the ground was soft, and they. That is the sort of country we now have. Now, people in Kiambu already know it. Those beautiful homes in Kiambu, nobody stays in. They stay in Nairobi. But I want to tell them they are stupid. Because that is following them in Nairobi.
You'll not be able to sleep.
You will not be safe even in Nairobi here. With all the fences, all the electrical fence, these boys will just come in.
Jump in, look for something.
The only source of security which the first world understood is the security of food for the poor. When the poor have eaten something small, they will leave you in peace. You can enjoy your life.
You steal your 5.6 10B.
So you can steal 5.6 10B. But it is very sad. It's very sad because look at the period at which people are. What times are these? Are these times when people can make schemes to steal from the public? Are these the times with the suffering going on? How oblivious are these people to the suffering of Kenyans? But finally, before we say it's over, I want to ask my friend Moses Kuria. You are a very intelligent person. No, those who don't know me, I know him. Anybody who knows Kuria will tell you that's a brain box. He's a very intelligent human being. I just want to advise him, please, watch your mouth. It is too difficult to learn how to speak as a leader. It's not too difficult. Because I hear the things that are going on in his ministry. Some of the best policies that have ever worked in this country, that have been put in place in this country. Cutters of Moses Kuria. He's a thinker. But hapa sasa kuita waandishi wa habari malaya. Nyinyi mnaitwa malaya, mnakubali?
Tumekataa. Thank you so much for tuning in. Conversation on NMG, meaty, Moses Kuria and the future of this country. Until we do talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day.